First up, Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, who arrived in India yesterday, received a ceremonial welcome at the Rashtrapati Bhavan a short while back. Next, she's scheduled to meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The meet is slated for 11:30 a.m. at Hyderabad House in Delhi. After the bilateral meeting with PM Modi, she will also call on President Draupadi Murmu and Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar in the evening. The two nations are scheduled to sign several MOUs, including a key river water sharing agreement. This is Bangladeshi Prime Minister's first visit to India after the two countries marked 50 years of bilateral relations in 2021.
India is our dear friend. Whenever I come to India, it's a big pleasure for us, for me especially, because we always recall the contribution India has done during our liberation war. So we have friendly relationship and we are cooperating with each other. So our main focus is to develop our people's condition, poverty alleviation, economic emancipation. So with all these issues, I feel that our two countries, we can work together so that people, not only India, Bangladesh, and also the South Asian people, they can get better life. That is our main focus.
We have Maruf Raza live with us. Maruf, a very crucial visit by Bangladesh Prime Minister. Could you take us through some of the issues on top of the agenda that will be discussed? We believe that in focus will be a key river water sharing pact.
Yes, good morning. River water sharing has always been the most difficult to resolve. And I think there are three aspects to it. One aspect is that there has not been a strong reality check by Bangladesh, and India has not pushed for that, about really what is the quantity of water that the Tista River gives to Bangladesh and what is it they want. Water sharing has become an emotional issue in Bangladesh's politics for decades now. And when Sheikh Hasina's rivals were in power, they did everything to sully the waters, as it were. The second aspect is that in India, we have politicians in West Bengal like Mamta Banerjee and others who feel that giving any extra liter of water is going to be devastating for the people of West Bengal or for the people of Assam, both of whom are not favorably leaning towards Bangladesh and its views. And the third is that Bangladesh must understand that there is a need for water in India. Where India needs to invest is on better water management. Unfortunately, in the monsoon months, water quantities that flood Bangladesh are far in excess of what they can take, but that's a country full of rivers. So it's not just the rivers, Tista in particular, but there are many other rivers that cause havoc in Bangladesh. It's subject to water pressures, just as Pakistan is now facing a problem with its monsoons, and it has nothing to do with India deluging Pakistan. But two other issues are very important, is that India wants to enhance defense ties with Bangladesh. The government has announced a $500 million credit line, which is virtually a handout and you pay as you can for Bangladesh to buy Indian military equipment. Please remember that Bangladesh's 75% or more of military arsenal is provided by China. And that has been because of India's reluctance in the past to export weapons platforms to any countries, leave aside Bangladesh. And the second is China's determined desire to encircle India by giving handouts to countries that are on our boundaries, that is Bangladesh, Nepal, and even Sri Lanka. The third aspect, which Bangladesh has been looking for years, but unfortunately, Indian governments and the Indian bureaucracy has resisted that, is for a tariff favorable deal, which means that if you allow Bangladeshi products to come into India tariff-free, Bangladesh can do very well with trading with India. Please remember that we were happy to pour in over $2 billion in Afghanistan, nearly $4 billion in Sri Lanka when the crisis hit them. But we've been reluctant to put in that kind of money in Bangladesh, which is one country under Sheikh Hasina that has favorably stood out for India in every aspect. And we should exploit that one or two areas of positivity in our neighborhood, because you have a China which is hostile to you, you have Pakistan that is hostile to you, Sri Lanka cannot come into your grasp because they're so heavily debt-ridden to China. Myanmar is 50-50, but again gets pushed by China to leaning to them. Nepal has been receiving lots of money and funds from China, whereas we think just because we have a border relationship, we have largely kind of religious connectivity with Nepal, we will get Nepal to fall in line. In geopolitics, these things don't matter that much. What really matters is how much you can bring on the table to get the other side to become a friend of yours. And I think India would rather invest in countries that are favorably inclined to India than invest in countries where our money is really down the drain. You put 4 billion into Sri Lanka, but the Sri Lankans have gone back to crawling in front of the Chinese. So where is your 4 billion gone? China never put in money when Sri Lanka was sinking. Nobody put in money to the scale that India put in. But Sri Lanka is still now again getting back onto its same sovereignty songs and saying that, you know, we want to guard against our independence, because the memories of India's military intervention in Sri Lanka are still very, very sore. And finally, the one area that India and Bangladesh can work together is basically to create a consensus for India's border trade with Bangladesh and beyond that into East, because Bangladesh is the key country to India's Look East policy. And if we can get Bangladesh fully on board with Eastern connectivity, then we are going to do well with all our Eastern neighbors, because that's a real large chunk of land which lies between India and its Eastern neighborhood with respect to the policies that we've had, Look East policy. So those are the issues I think that will be discussed. I don't see any major breakthrough coming through because we already know what is really going to come out of it. But let's wait and watch if there's something really dramatic that comes out of this visit.
All right, thank you, Maruf. So apart from water sharing, defense, investment, border management and enhanced trade relations will be issues on top of agenda in this meet. Thank you, Maruf Raza, for bringing all those updates.
All right.